Hey YouTube, Coppersan here. For all those Maplers who are still not sure yet which class to main I'm making this series, I'll be showcasing all the updated hunting and bossing on every class after the Destiny update. I'll talk about their gameplay and why you could potentially main one of these classes. I divided the series into 5 parts based on every class type. One for the warriors, the magicians, the thieves, the pirates and the archers, with today the archers. I hope you enjoy and that this video helps you pick a main character. Like always, we're starting things off with the Explorer Archers, starting with the Marksman, who plays and feels a lot better after the Destiny update. After this update, Marksmen only use their piercing arrow skill to mob. They get the skill with the second job advancement, and it grows stronger with every job advancement. Marksmen now also automatically, after every few attacks, enhance their piercing shot, making it bigger, better, and more deadly. The same goes for their bossing skill Snipe, which gets a similar empowered attack every few hits. Marksmen's their 5th job skill Split Shot, which makes their grinding so much better, also lasts longer now after the Destiny update. Marksmen used to have a range mechanic, getting certain buffs depending on how close or far away they were from monsters, but this mechanic has been removed, now you just get a ton of passive buffs. Marksmen are great bossers with a long invincibility frame on their 5th job perfect shot skill, and they are surprisingly tanky. They also have a new mobility skill, which is a place down teleporter. Use this skill to place the teleporter down and then you can use it again to teleport to that location. And they can place down an arrow illusion as well when they're bossing or when they're mobbing, and that arrow illusion will lure in monsters. They do not have their own bind though, do keep this in mind. Marksmen are fine bossers with plenty of mobility and tankiness to survive most boss fights. Their burst skills do have a 2-minute cooldown though. Well, when you're bossing with a big party, you usually use a 3-minute timer, because bosses can be bound every 3 minutes, so usually you work around that timer. So as a marksman you have to work around this 2-minute cooldown window, but overall this class is great to play if you're looking for a safer archer class to play on. Next up is the Bowmaster. Bowmasters might not look very different, but they actually got a pretty big damage increase with the Destiny update as well, probably one of the highest among the explorers. This class is still relatively the same, except that now mirages pop out every now and then that unleash additional attacks. Bowmasters place down a turret when grinding and use their 5th job skills together with their Aerostream 4th job skill to mob. Bowmasters' 5th job skills are mostly buffs that pop out additional attacks when you're using your other attacks, making it a very simple and straightforward class. Similar to the Marksman, this class now also has a teleport skill, and the Destiny update slightly buffed the hitbox on your mobbing skill on Aerostream. Personally, I don't really like the mobbing with this class. Perhaps I need more 5th job skills like Guided Arrow, but it does feel a bit clunky, placing down a turret and just jumping around using Aerostream. Their bossing on the other hand is super fun in my opinion. Just hold down Hurricane while you buff yourself to infinity and beyond with your 5th job skills. It's very easy bossing and you can even tank a bit of damage by consuming your mirages. They can dish out some decent damage. However, similar to Marksman, your burst also has a 2-minute cooldown window, which doesn't really feel that great when you're doing higher level bosses where binding and bursting is more important. Similar to the Marksman, this class does not have their own bind. If you enjoy a straightforward class without any big skill animations and are okay with the way this class grinds, then make sure to check out the Bowmaster. The final Explorer Archer is Pathfinder. Pathfinder was the only Explorer to not receive a remaster since it is a pretty new class. Pathfinders are explosive and easy to play. They macro their 1st and 2nd job attacks together and you'll be using that forever. They can move around quickly with their dashes and use a gauge to obtain relic energy. You need this energy for some of their attacks and you get a small buff when the gauge is filled up. Grinding can be pretty lazy with this class. You just stand in the middle of the big map, look left and look right and just fire away. Their bossing is a bit different though. They use their arsenal of other attacks to apply debuffs to the enemy boss to enhance their own damage. Pathfinder's attacking skills also change depending on the emblem that's inside the gauge, with every one of the 3 emblems changing their skill effects. Pathfinder's mobbing is nice, but they aren't known for their amazing bossing, lacking burst, and similar to the other archers, their 120-second cooldown 5th job skills aren't the best for the 3-minute burst meta. Pathfinders aren't weak or anything like that, they can boss just fine, but there's also a lot of other classes that can boss even better, like for example the Marksman I feel like. They do have their own invincibility frame with Nova Blast and they can give party members a shield when bossing. They again do not have their own bind though. If you want a lazy mobber class with decent mobility, then check out Pathfinder. Next up is the Knight of Sickness Archer, the Wind Archer. Here I am talking about not having burst and then I make this class my bossing wheel. This class doesn't even know what the meaning of the word burst is. Yet this class was also the first one to solo the Black Mage, so yeah, who needs burst anyway? Wind Archers are an interesting class. They are very aesthetically pleasing with all their additional arrows popping out and have amazing mobility thanks to their Wind Walk, which also helps them avoid some boss attacks. They bring their own personal shield to the boss battle but lack a true invincibility frame, or bind for that matter. They do have a crystal that can be placed down to lure monsters away, and this even works on boss monsters. So what you do on this class when you're bossing, you just place down your crystal, move out of the range of the boss and just attack freely while the boss is whacking away at your crystal. It's a very fun class to boss with, hence I made it my bossing wheel, because the best way to deal with bosses is to just ignore the mechanics. Mobbing with this class is fun with its big 5th-job skills that help mobbing by quite a bit. They do need that though, because their mobbing without those skills is not the best. Using one of their 2nd-job skills to mob or one of their 4th-job mobbing skills, they're both not that great though. This class has a hurricane skill like most archers, but cannot walk while using it, so you're either tapping it to walk around with it or you're standing still, but that also makes you a sitting duck, it makes you quite vulnerable. This class is getting remastered later this year, like all the other Knights of Sickness, giving them a bit better mobbing and newer animations, but not making any major changes. If you enjoy cheesing bosses even without any actual burst damage, great mobility, questionable mobbing, and want to solo the Black Mage, then check out this class. Next up is the Hero's Job branch archer, Mercedes. I think it's pretty safe to say that this is a class that isn't exactly loved by a lot of Maplers, and she's mostly made because of her link skill, which increases EXP. Mercedes is a combo class that links various skills together in the air to dish out the damages. She can get quite technical with her various combos that can be used, and watching higher level Mercedes zoom around the map is pretty impressive to see. She's pretty weak early on, which doesn't help her popularity. She has low HP, but does take 30% less damage thanks to a passive on her water shield. With the Destiny update, the skill got changed. All the damage reduction and status resistance effects are now passive, and instead the skill will now give you a 2-second invincibility frame. But because she moves around in the air quite a lot and has to combo her skills together, she does take some getting used to when you take your Mercedes bossing. Like the other archers mentioned, she does not have a bind either. The Destiny update also lowered the cooldowns of some of her 5th-job skills and improved the burst on her Ikolas Rod skill, that big green arrow pumping out the damages, and the buff that she gets when she stacks her combos now lasts even longer. I think Mercedes is the most difficult archer to play, so if you're up for a challenge and love comboing your skills together, then check out Mercedes. Next up is the Resistance Archer, the Wild Hunter. This crazy cat lady rides a jaguar and has some fun mobility. They can even run backwards while still continuing to fire their hurricane skill. After the Destiny update, they can also change their hurricane skill into a regular mobbing attack. Wild Hunters can also dismount their jaguar and install it on a location so it can use its own attacks. They also install various summons when hunting to take care of parts of the map. When grinding, they also use their 5th-job grenade skill to fire off additional attacks while running around the map. Their bossing got a slight boost with the Destiny update. They now unload their burst faster and their cooldowns have been slightly reduced. When bossing, the Wild Hunter is usually not mounted, so they can dish out the damages while the Jaguar goes to work on the boss by itself. Wild Hunters can boost their party members' attack and magic attack, which is pretty sick though. They also have their own bind, but they do require a bit more funding before they feel nice, but at least they got some party play elements. If you enjoy great mobility, a very simple playstyle when grinding, and a bit more intense when bossing as you're managing your Jaguar during those boss fights, then check out the Wild Hunter. And we're already at the final archer of this video. I was triple checking just to be sure that I didn't miss any, but nah, there just aren't that many archers. The final archer is Kain, who is also a more recently released class. Kain wasn't overpowered on release like Adele or Pathfinder and Hoyoung. However, with the Destiny update, this class has gotten some nice buffs and is a lot more viable now. Almost all the damage numbers and his attacks went up. Kain has an assassin-like gameplay style. He can swing from platform to platform using his hookshot, apply debuffs with his short-range purple attacks, and then pop those debuffs for additional damage with his other attacks. Kain also uses a gauge. Once filled up, he can use up a charge to enhance his next attack. He can hold a couple of charges at a time. However, this enhancement has to be applied manually, which means you're also micromanaging constantly. Kain has great burst, invincibility frames, great mobbing with his hookshot, and dashes that can get him out of harm's way, and even more damage now after the Destiny update. He doesn't have his own bind though. If you enjoy a fast-paced gameplay style, weaving in and out of combat and assassin-like gameplay with a lot of micromanagement, then check out Kain. And those were all archers in MapleStory. I hope this video was useful and that it helps you pick a main archer. And as always, many thanks to our members for making these videos possible. Thanks to Niels the Coninck, Raar maar waar, Sebastian Hanoy, Ryalias, Terry Kim, Vareese, Wiley, Historycanon, BackSpaceOTI, Saffronyx, Anwar NHI, Ziggy Flidiot, Knifesu, Chen125, Cloudfix, Jesus Rodriguez, Froggy, Vira, Trevor, Michael Manchaka, Ratius, Justin Vale, Silvio Nato, Stevie Zhang, Afterlord_MS, ceemak, Striker Elk, Tidal 1 Pun, Victor Sundstrom, Radical Jaws, Riser Are Gummy Bullet, Lovebird, Sir Tito655, Mathias Simonsson, Mr. Narc, Colando Balavia, my name is Coppersan, and I'm super cute XOXO, PC Game Life, Dante Victory, Stanislaus Sumo Vegas, Swap to Bish, Road to level 235, 30k stat, exclamation mark reboot, The Passenger, Martin Panzik, I'm Disappointed, Lucky Beats, Gabriel Eck, Pedro Benetti, Conrad Castales, Ace Light, Ben Wolf, Max Bernhardt, Doc on the Tucker Box, Muka 1017, BNB King, Scotty Flies Fast, Priscilla, and Brandon Cam. Thank you so much for watching. Stay safe and happy mapling.